told him, take it and shove it. I make more here, and I don't even work. I mean,
Fired!
I'm serious. To me, it's relaxing. That's why we go out and we walk every couple of hours, because back there, we just go to town, and it's so relaxing that it's not work.
Yeah, it's fun over here. You tie stuff all day long and just sit and
It's
keep
relaxing.
time.
No, I don't sleep, but I mean, it's relaxing, so I don't think of it as work. You know, you can ask Albert. I sat up here before she came. I'd sit up here and I'm just going to town and just relaxing and
gotta bite. I think I got a lot of stress on my mind. It's a nice day to go. Yeah, I gotta learn. I'ma call the whole team.
What's up, Puto? Oh, chasing ghosts as usual.
Alright, let's get my 100 yards of mono and we'll go from here. Alright, there's my 100 yards, 100. It's going to get the 80 pound on here, and since it is going to stay connected, I'm going to go ahead and do a hollow core splice on that. If I can get my spool off of here. There we go. Got a pain in the butt. Oh,
Well, you know, I mean, we've got a shit ton of volume right now. And, you know, I mean, I'm almost really to going after home builder business. I like to
Oop, still got the little frayage on there. Where's my sandpaper at? Alright, here we go. Let's finish spooling this one up. it's 300 yards of the 80-pound Cortland. And I think earlier I said 100-pound, but I meant to say 80-pound. This is 80-pound 16 strand Cortland. Oh shit! You want an 80, and I got 100 on here. Well, I'm gonna finish off since so I can at least know, since I'm already there, how much braid it would take to get up there, and then we'll stop, and then I'll start again. Oh man. So right there, I've got about a 1/4 inch full exposure on the spool, and I think that's where he's stopping me. So we'll do a quick little deal there. I got at least 1/4 inch, and we know. So this is 100-pound, 1/4 inch we're at 600 yards, 100-pound mono. Let's top it off real quick. Alright, so I'm about flush. I definitely could get at least 100 yards more, but I topped it off at 11 or at 1,000 yards. So full would be at 1,100 of 100.
Oh, that's great.
Well, actually, I got to strip it down because you wanted 80 pound, not 100 pound.
You have 100-pound lens?
Yeah.
You know,
But topped off like this, I'm at 1,100 yards
Oh, without any mono.
with mono.
What, you have a 100-pound mono on it?
Yeah.
Just take it down to a quarter spool,
Mm-hmm.
and we'll leave it with 100.
Okay. So you want it with 100. Okay.
We'll leave it with 100.
Cool deal. So, well, I got to spool it back on here, so this works out.
you just want it like this.
With your 100 yards.
So it's the same amount as that one.
Yeah, but with 100 on 100.
100 on.
Yeah.
Let's just leave it like that.
Okay, if we would do the 80, we'd probably end up with like 1,200 or something
Yeah,
like
14
that.
or something.
Yeah.
Let's just leave it like that.
I started spooling up because he wanted 200-pound test on his reel. And it was a 50, and I'm like, why do you want 200? He's like, well, because I caught that big old shark on it. I'm like, I understand that. I said, but you don't need 200. Well, guys I fish with don't really know how to use the drag and stuff. And I'm like, okay. Still, you really don't need it. He goes, well, won't they bust 130? I said, you know how hard 130 is to bust? I thought, you know, it's tough. Like, so I finally convinced him to go to 130. And I start spooling it up, and I get about 3/4 of the way up, and it's not enough to fill the reel. So he's kind of suggesting, he's like, well, I don't understand why I got to pay all this money if I'm going to have a splice in my horn. I said, well, I'll take it all the way off. That ain't no biggie, you know. I'll strip it down. I'll put you one solid piece. So I strip it down, and I start looking for my other 130 spool. Didn't realize we sold out. I said, well, either we go with the splice or we go with 200-pound test, you know, back to where you wanted to. He's like, let's just go with the 200. So we go with the 200, but he only gets like 700 yards of line on there, 800 yards of line. I got it video it up or whatever. Yeah, he wasn't too happy about having a splice on the end of hollow core. I'm like, well, it's hollow core, it's gonna happen. But he's just getting into it and this and that. And so I told him, where'd you find us? And he's all, yes, but I still have to flip it to put your mono on top. But let's see. Yes, I see your point.
It's like, bingo.
Yeah. Okay.
Later.
No, I was thinking ahead of myself that I'm still gonna, I still have to flip it, but I got to cut it now and flip this end over, not all the braid. So
Go ahead and
yeah,
start some more back to it, please.
yeah.
Thank you.
It's like beating off with sand in the Vaseline, man. It's like, screw it, I just gonna keep going.
You spent way too much time in the desert, bro. The rest of us say, that ain't working, bro. No. Oh shit! Screw that. Halfway. No.
But at our branch, we had a whole bunch of puppies coming. Like somebody dumped a bunch of puppies.
Oh wow.
And Michael, the branch manager, and Ryan, the operations manager, they each kept one of the puppies, and they found homes for them like within half an hour. Like people were stopping by, hey, I'll take that puppy. It was awesome. We got them all homes.
Mm-hmm.
But Mike and Ryan, they each kept one. Mike took his home, of course, but Ryan brings his to work every day.
Mm-hmm.
And so now he's 4 months old, man, and he's huge, right? He's got a little bit of pit in him, but he's got some lab in there too. So he's a cute little dog, man.
Mm-hmm.
Huge head. But the agent, he's about to get him clipped off here real quick.
More? Perfect. Good to go. All right, so now we're going to cut and leave. Let's get this off. Yeah, I was actually stationed up in North Carolina, 98 to 02, and in like 99, they had that big marlin or something tournament or tuna tournament, something like that, where a guy set the world record at that time for the most cash payout for that tournament or whatever.
Wow.
And it was from a tuna that he caught. That they won like $1 million or whatever, but then they turned around and sold the fish at the dock for like 3.1 million or something like that.
Something like that.
And I was like, man, I want to go see this fish. So I took off over there as soon as I got to work. There was nobody at the docks or anything. It was like in the morning and everybody was gone. I was like, shoot, man, that would have been cool, you know.
Yeah.
So
I've been fishing. I went fishing over there a couple of years ago. We did really well.
mm,
We go out for a longer couple of days, and we do fairly well. But it's usually in November, December.
Oh yeah, that's usually during.
I've got one for September for 24 hours, and I did a 60-hour.
well, I could stop at the knot and show you how it looks once I get it all set and
Well,
done.
you're going to do it on the 30, aren't you?
No, because you got 80-pound mono and
60?
60-pound braid, and it's because of the mono thickness, not because of the braid.
Oh, so it's a worm knot on that one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the mono, when you have a lot of pressure on it, it ends up stretching underneath the braid, and what it does is when you relax it, all that braid bunches up on the mono.
Okay.
So it
pulls.
yeah, it ends up not looking nice and neat and stuff, so I don't like that.
All right.
Alright guys, so we ended up going with 100 and 100 on this tld50 right here, and we're going to reset the line counter and go and get it spooled back up so we can find out exactly how much we got on here. we go. Alright, so that was 720 yards of the Cortland braid on there. And looking for all these pins, and I got like 4 of them in my pocket. So yeah, we're looking right at 800 yards, 820 for the braid, or braid with mono. Don't need all that. Yeah, no. It don't look good either. No. Even when I was getting into it, I didn't like using the solid braid, but it was the only way we can get the line capacity we were looking for at the time. But as soon as I learned about this hollow core and I started using it, man, it was like
that
a
solid
dream.
braid hits that sand, it's done.
Yeah, over. Yes, sir.